And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
Hey, good evening. I'm Annalisa Gale. Well, today marking the 10th day of this government shutdown. It's also the first day government workers will not get a full paycheck.
And this comes as the Trump administration announced layoffs will begin. A live look at the Capitol this afternoon. Hundreds of thousands of workers have been furloughed. Others have been working without pay. Meanwhile, the Senate heading home for the weekend after failing to pass a temporary spending bill again last night.
DC News Now's Marielle Carbone joining us live downtown. And Marielle, certainly a stressful situation for those federal workers who are in need of a full paycheck to survive.
Yeah, Annalisa, it really is. And the longer the shutdown goes on, the longer they could potentially be without any pay. Now, all of this is happening as the head of the Office of Management and Budget posting today on X saying that layoffs, not just furloughs, are now taking place.
Just a lot of anxiety and uncertainty.
Across the district, the impacts of the federal shutdown are felt far and wide.
So much of DC has to do with government, but it's also like a thriving community in its own right. And a lot of downstream effects are being felt by like restaurants and arts businesses.
For family members of federal workers who are facing furloughs or working without pay, they're stepping up and stepping in.
I told them if they need a helping hand, I could help them out, whatever I could help them out with.
Today marks the first day federal workers across America will receive a partial paycheck thanks to Democrats' obstruction to the system here.
Friday, House Speaker Mike Johnson blaming Senate Democrats who have voted 7 times against a temporary spending bill that would reopen the government.
You've got millions of American families who will now have to figure out how to make their mortgage, how to cover their rent.
Republicans have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They decided to shut the government down.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries throwing it back on Republicans.
Our plea to our Republican colleagues is get serious. Let's have a conversation so we can find a bipartisan path forward and address the health care crisis that they've created.
Meanwhile, Russell Vought, director of the Office of Management and Budget, writing on X the rifts have begun. The American Federation of Government Employees replying the lawsuit has been filed. Area food banks now preparing for an influx in need.
Yeah, I'm really worried about like programs like SNAP and Medicaid that are also under attack.
Now, the Senate, it will return next week on Tuesday. The House remains on recess. Reporting live downtown, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
Marielle, thanks so much. And for continuing coverage on resources available to anyone in need of help, loans that may be available, you can head to our website right now, dcnewsnow.com.
And developing now, teenagers shot in D.C. this afternoon. Police responded to 6th Street in Southwest near the Air and Space Museum.
Yeah, DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joining us live in Southwest with the latest on the shooting. Daniel, what are you learning at this hour?
Annalise and Mark, we are on 6th Street right here at the corner of C Street Southwest. What we're told is that the shooting happened right down 6th Street here, right by that railroad bridge. We're told that a group of teens were in the area, and as they were coming north on the street toward where we are right now, one of those teens took out a gun and shot another teen multiple times, at least twice, once at least in the arm and the leg. That bullet, or those bullets, flew quite a considerable distance. We're told that right in this area there was a van that was also hit. The bullet went straight through both of the back windows. We're told that it was a group of tourists who were outside of that van when that happened, so nobody was inside. And the really surprising thing is if we pan over this way and look up 6th Street, all the way down there, that building back there is the Air and Space Museum. There is a bullet hole about 30 feet up on the left-hand side right there. So we're told by police that they believe one of the bullets that was fired down by the railroad bridge went all the way up there to the Air and Space Museum. So this whole area is still closed off for the moment as police continue to investigate. A large group of people over here. We know there's a hotel right here, so people have been in and out. A lot of tourists wondering what happened. We're told that the victim in this case, he has non-life-threatening injuries, so he is expected to be okay. There were no other injuries reported here. The victim ran north as the shooter ran south. So police are still trying to gather video surveillance footage to see if they can get any information about the shooter. For now, we're live in Southwest. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, thanks to Daniel. Let's talk weather now with meteorologist Damon Madsen with a first look at our forecast.
Yeah, Damon, tomorrow seems to be the day to get outside.
It's trending that way, no doubt about it. It's going to be a bit tricky this weekend as far as if you have any outdoor plans, because Mother Nature going to try to throw some unsettled weather our way after we had quite a chill out there this morning. Now, it did not get quite as cold as we expected it to. A little bit of wind kicked up during the middle of the night. We had some clouds blanketing parts of the area as well. So no doubt it was chilly, but we only dropped down to 50 degrees in the district, and even farther west, no doubt quite a bit colder, still in the 30s in Martinsburg, Frederick, Winchester, and even all the way out to Woodstock and Kaiser. But we had not as many locations dropping down into the lower and middle 30s. So a widespread frost, hard freeze was avoided this time around. Now, we did boost those temperatures back up, and we've had a good mix of sunshine and cloud cover, which has brought us back into the middle 60s across the entire region. And we will continue to see a good mix of clear sky and cloud cover. However, we are expecting that cloud cover to continue to increase as we head into the night tonight, and that is going to keep us from getting very chilly at all. It's going to drop back down into the 50s, yes, but it shouldn't get too much colder for many of us as we start out the weekend. However, that cloud cover, it's a sign of the unsettled weather to come. Are we expecting rainfall to begin on Saturday, or will it hold off until Sunday? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. New this afternoon, a Fairfax County police arrested a 22-year-old man who they say exposed himself at a bus stop in Chantilly. They say it happened on Wednesday just after 1 p.m. The 4700 block of Stonecroft Boulevard. A suspect identified as Nelson Gabriel Robles from Fair Oaks. He was arrested by police shortly after the incident. He's charged with indecent liberties, indecent exposure, and obscene sexual display. Well, months after his mistaken deportation, the future of Kilmore Abrego Garcia is still unclear. He was originally from El Salvador, but was living in Maryland at the time of his arrest. Following his mistaken deportation, he was returned to the U.S., where he faced human smuggling charges in Tennessee.
Yeah, then after a brief release and reunion with his family, Immigration and Customs Enforcement detained Abrego Garcia again. And today, an evidentiary hearing that was meant to determine what's next for Abrego Garcia was held at U.S. District Court in Greenbelt.
Well, during the hearing, Immigration and Customs Enforcement Deputy Assistant Director John Schultz was called to testify. Schultz's current role involves helping to facilitate removals of immigrants to other countries. Schultz says he was not actively working on the Abrego Garcia case, and only learned Tuesday that Abrego Garcia could be deported to Eswatini, a small country in southern Africa.
Now, Schultz revealed that Eswatini initially declined to accept Abrego Garcia. However, talks between both countries are ongoing. Abrego Garcia could also be sent to Ghana if talks with Eswatini falls through. Abrego Garcia's attorneys continue to push for him to be removed to Costa Rica, citing a letter they received from the Costa Rican government in August that they're willing to accept him and that he won't be prosecuted there.
Well, the State Department says that Costa Rica is not yet off the table. The case is still ongoing inside U.S. District Court, and we'll bring you the latest a little later on this evening. We continue to follow developing news out of Maryland, where a school community is grieving after an 11-year-old was hit and killed. We do want to warn you that some of the details could be upsetting. We know the name of the girl who was hit, 11-year-old Summer Lim. Investigators say that the bus coming from Earl B. Wood Middle School hit and killed her as she was walking her bike home from the middle school. Now, there were other students on the bus at the time of the crash. It happened on Russet Road and Bauer Drive in Aspen Hill just after 3:15 p.m. No injuries were reported on the bus, but when police arrived at the scene, they found the 11-year-old behind the bus. Community members left now wondering what could be done differently to prevent this from happening again.
There have been some better safety measures so that this is never going to happen again. That's all you want. You don't want this to ever happen again.
Pedestrian safety is critically important, but also road safety is critically important. And I think that this is an opportunity for us to pause and for us to focus on what really matters and making sure that our kids arrive to school safely and get home safely every day.
We do know the bus driver is on leave pending the reinvestigation. Officials said that no charges will be filed until the investigation has been completed. And Wood Middle School responding in a letter sent out to parents saying, quote, "I can tell you how heartbreaking this is for all of us. Here at Wood Middle, our hearts are with the students' family, friends, classmates, and everyone who knew and loved this child."
Well, developing now, another Real Housewives of Potomac star has been arrested, including her husband. Wendy Osefo and her husband Eddie were arrested last night. Deputies with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office says the couple reported last year that several items were taken from their bedroom when they returned from vacation. Items including jewelry, luxury goods, and clothes totaling more than $200,000. However, deputies say that they were later seen wearing some of the jewelry that was reportedly stolen.
They're basically living their life on social media or on TV. I think because we became suspicious, and I do believe that the insurance companies became suspicious as well, their investigators start to scour social media and look at specific items that Mrs. Osefo regularly wore, and it wouldn't have been difficult to see some of those items on her. I don't care if she's a real housewife, fake housewife, or whatever she is, we would have handled it the same way regardless of who she was.
Wendy and Eddie posted bail this morning. Their next court appearance is set for November 7th. They're facing multiple counts related to fraud. Meantime, in sports, the Commanders are gearing up to host the Chicago Bears for Monday Night Football. It's a rematch of last season's Hail Mary win at Northwest Stadium. And this time, Washington could once again be without star wide receiver Terry McLaurin, who has been out of action since injuring his quad in the team's Week 3 win over the Oakland Raiders.
An alert this weekend after organizers announced that the Army 10-miler race will go on despite the government shutdown. There will be road closures across D.C. and in Arlington. Races this Sunday, October 12th at 8 a.m. Some closures begin at 3 a.m., including 14th Street from Constitution Avenue to the 14th Street Bridge. And for a full list, you can head to our website at dcnewsnow.com.